the fundamental risk management platform. I call it the 4 Ps. You might feel like your institution is doing really well on some of them, but to have a 4-legged sturdy table of risk management on sexual misconduct requires policies. So that's what's in writing. It also means what's front facing. It could be what's on your website. It needs to be consistent across all your handbooks. Some of you might have an employee handbook. You might have a personnel handbook. You might have an athletic handbook. Some schools have 5, 6, 7 handbooks. Do you have a matchup amongst all of them? The next thing is a protocol. So once you have notice of an incident that impacts your educational community in some way, shape, or form, what happens next? Who is informed? In what way, in what order, what resources are provided? How do you talk to parents if you're a K-12 school? What if it's an employee or a contractor? All of those things. So you need to have consistency in the protocol. Procedure is the doing of discipline. So once you establish all the resources, do the protocol, the next thing is, do we have enough to pursue a disciplinary action against the individual involved or individuals involved? So procedure is important. And for our K-12 friends on the meeting, if you simply push everything off to the criminal investigation, I'm afraid that you could be waiting for quite some time to figure out what to do. And I know it's a delicate issue, but I have lots of really good, solid ways that you can address it. And finally, you go full circle, and what are you doing to train, to prevent, to reduce risk, reduce harm? What's the best practice? That's what I'm called to do all the time, is testify about best practices. First question is, do we recognize that sexual misconduct can happen in all of these contexts, meaning all genders, multiple people could be involved? I've been to every type of faith-based institution you can imagine, and sexual misconduct has happened at all of them. So no one is without incident. And even if it doesn't happen at your institution on a regular basis, hopefully not, there are plenty of people either going to school there or working at your institution who have already experienced sexual violence. Do you have to put the entire state law in your school handbook? Absolutely not. You might reference it, but your school is there to comply with laws, but you need to have your own policies in addition. So an easy way to think of it is a 3 Cs. Campus is your system. Then sometimes there's civil litigation. That's what my expert witness hat is. And then the criminal prosecution as well. Okay, protocol. So making sure you have medical attention, reporting options, making sure you empower everyone to know that they can report out beyond the campus, and then what options for emotional support. When you do training or protocol, it's important to know that not every victim will respond in the same way. An outward manifestation of how they feel could look any number of different ways. There's no one size fits all. The procedure, do you have your one disciplinary system, and does it work? Are you sure it will work for cases involving a he said, she said, or I said, you said, meaning you don't have any witnesses and there's at least 2 or more parties involved that need to be questioned? Does your system absolutely work, and have you tested it? If you haven't tested it, we have a whole manual of cases that you could see if your system works, and we've even set up mock hearings. I spent, I guess it was about 5 hours, and we had the entire admin team at a K-12 school sit around, and we did the notice, and then who calls here, and what if the media finds out, and what about the parents who are calling? And so we practiced every single thing down to the end. So they had at least done it once in a mock situation. So again, that to me is really good practice, and it empowers everyone to not panic, but to really be thoughtful and go at the right pace to make sure that every detail is covered. I don't think it's ever too young to start talking about boundaries and respectful relationships. In fact, we created an entire curriculum called Respect My Red for kids in elementary school, and we have different versions that go up through grade 12 and college. One thing that I found works really well is anytime you want to address an issue and have an impact, it's brain and heart. It has to be connected to their empathy and why should I care about this? How does it affect me? As well as what the laws and policies activities are. This is a program that we've been doing probably for 25 years, and it involves two presenters narrating a case study, getting the audience involved as judge and jury, and we use your school's policy to navigate it, and it focuses on consent, peer pressure, bystander, upstander skills, and alcohol, how drunk is too drunk, what's incapacitation. It's an interactive peer theater kind of program. It's got some humor, but I think it's got enough reality and purpose that it connects extremely well to college students. And then we have another version for high school students that involves two students who go to the prom together.